Previously on Good Soup After Dark.
Like, where did that come from? And like, where did the confidence to do that come from?
The idea of doing the events at my own space really came from this anger that I felt towards the industry and some of the more higher ups and, you know, the politics and just the behind the scenes stuff that goes on. I had been trying for a really long time to be a part of a festival, and whether it was ticket disagreements or just our personalities just not matching, it just felt like I couldn't find a festival or a brand that could give me a fair offer or that could even just do right morally. So I said, if no one else wants to give me a fair deal or treat artists fair, then I'll do it. I'll do my own show. Yeah, it may not be Rolling Loud or this other huge festivals, but I could do it myself and we could have fun and it'll be way more of a memorable time.
Welcome to another episode of Good Soup After Dark. I'm your host, Jay Gonzalez. We have Morihrihart behind the cameras on the ones and twos. And tonight, we have a special and return guest with us tonight. He's an entrepreneur, event curator, artist who's really locking in performance mode right now. And he's even throwing his own events this month with his organization, Runaway Roses. Tonight, we have Johar.
Thank you. That was a great intro. Oh my God.
I'm getting better at these, man.
That was dope. What?
But it's nice to have you again, man. Thank you for getting back on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure being here.
And before we get into it, that's your camera there. Just let people know where to find you.
Okay, you can follow me on Instagram at JXHAR. You can follow Runaway Roses at runawayroses.ent on Instagram. And yeah, you can also find me on Spotify, Apple Music, all that other good stuff at Johar. And same thing for Runaway Roses. Yeah.
Now, I know we have some exciting stuff with the music. We have some exciting stuff with the events. So we could just get right into it, man. Let's talk about the month of May. How's that been going for you?
Oof. Month of May has been amazing. Run of May has been off to a great start. A lot of people thought I was crazy saying I wanted to do 5 events in a month. But sheesh. We're killing it right now. I can't even lie.
Yeah, let's talk about some of those events that have gone on so far, because I know you still have one more weekend of events to go, right?
Yes, we have one more weekend, and we're going to knock that out of the park. Fingers crossed. And so far, you know, we started off with Venus and Verses in Pianos in New York for my birthday.
Happy belated.
Thank you so much. Big tourist season, you know how we rocking. But yeah, so Pianos was really dope. It's a staple in New York. Everyone grows up like hearing my pianos, like going to the club. It's just a known thing. So being able to actually have my 25th like birthday party and show there, and this time actually be able to rent out like the top floor and the after party, it was great. It was absolutely amazing. All the artists that came out, they absolutely killed it. ATM Money, Malik English, Taylor Bell, Hunter B, King Josh, Rico, DJ Fonvanet K, Raphael Photos, everyone just snapped. So that's all you can really ask for. It was one of the best birthday gifts I had in a long time.
So you said you turned 25?
Yes.
Now I'm going to really date myself because I'm a 34-year-old fart. But I think like after 21, there wasn't too many like ages that were really significant. Yeah. Like for me, like it was like 30. Yeah. But 25 is kind of special. It's a quarter century. And you're kind of seemingly at this like pivotal moment in your life. So like, just kind of like reflecting back to the event of Pianos plus the other stuff you've done this month, like has 25 been kind of significant for you so far?
Yeah, 25 has been like really interesting because it was really a big shift in my personal and like career life where things just started aligning a lot more. And what I started doing for fun really was like, no, this is my business. Like what I do in my free time is what I do as a job. And what I do as a job is what I do for fun. Like it's connected. And I think for a long time I tried to like separate it and separate them as much as I could so I could kind of have like these different lives. How do you feel? I'm like Peter Parker and Spider-Man. And if anyone has ever read Spider-Man, Peter Parker suffers every comic. He never gets to just be Peter Parker. He always has to be Spider-Man. And that's kind of how I felt. So 25 was really the year, or so far, it's been the time that everything kind of converged. Like, it was like the world knows that I'm Spider-Man and they know that I'm Peter Parker. It's the same thing. So
Yeah, but if you watch the movies, I think the third recent one, they forget that he's Spider-Man. So let's hope that doesn't happen.
yeah, I don't want that to happen.
No, but Johar the artist, Johar the man, like, and you're doing okay juggling all that, especially like the events and like the stuff you have coming up as well.
Yeah, for sure. Don't get me wrong. It could be difficult at times. It could be a lot. It's definitely not easy, but I give myself a break in between. Like I try not to overwhelm myself, and I try to even do the events that I do, make sure that they're events that I would want to go to, other people will want to go to. They're not just things that I feel like I have to do or I'm being forced to do. It's things that I want to do.
Yeah, no, just kind of speaking from personal experience, just juggling those two different lives, well, for me specifically, like the day job and then kind of doing what we've been doing. Like, not for nothing, Johar, we've had 28 episodes since we've had you on.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're definitely trying, man. We heard that like usually after 10 episodes, people quit.
Yeah.
So we're trying to truck along, and honestly, I think since your episode, we're doing it on a weekly basis. So it's just kind of just like juggling those expectations that you put on yourself, because it's like really no one else putting it on us but us.
Yeah.
And if you ask Marie, it's probably me. But yeah, just like kind of getting through those things. I could imagine like the difficulty that you might go through, especially being a performing artist. Like, it's one thing to sit in front of a camera, but like the other thing to go out there, not only like lead events and throw events of your own, but kind of being part of another one.
Yeah.
And we're gonna lead into that in a little bit. But before we do, like any highlights from the events thus far in May?
Okay. Pianos, one of the highlights was getting to see Malik English perform. It was the first time I had seen an artist perform an R&B drill song where they had a live drummer behind it. So that just kind of like blew my mind. I was like, what's going on? So that was really dope. From Roses and Rights, I would say it was not necessarily the amount of people, but the scale of people that surprised me so much when we did the event. We had people that had just started making music 2 months before they came to our past dogs. And then we had some people that had been rapping for 10 years. And it just was the fact that those people could kind of get in the same room and share experiences and talk and kind of grow and learn from each other. That was super dope. And lastly, Bloomhouse, oh my God, just the DJs. Every DJ smoked it. It was absolutely amazing. It felt like a 90s, 2000s house party. It was jumping. Yeah, and it was really beautiful. It was really a dope time, and just a safe space for everyone to just dance, have fun, and talk. So, those are my 3 highlights.
And then those are the highlights from your events. I kind of hate to put you on the spot a little bit.
Yeah, what's up?
No, I don't hate it. Hopefully it makes for some good content. But I remember asking you, and we were discussing before about like how you really focused on doing your own events because it was kind of difficult working with other people. Other people had different expectations of the quality of stuff like that. Do you remember?
Yeah. It was definitely some hardships I went through, like when it came to working with other people for events, because what they wanted to do and what I wanted to do just wouldn't line up. And then we would kind of find ourselves in a crossroads where it'd be like, well, I don't want to do what you want to do. It's like, well, I don't want to do what you want to do. And then we're both just kind of looking at each other like, all right. So then after a while, once that kept happening, and you hear the response of being like, oh, well, if you're going to do that, you should just do your own event. If you're going to do that, you should just do your own event. Or if I was you, I would just do this and that. It'd be like, well, I should just do my own event.
And you've been doing it since, man.
Yeah.
We've been to a couple of them. but you got something coming up that's not necessarily yours.
No, that is very true.
You want to let the people know what they should be looking out for?
Yes, no, for sure. On June 21st, Saturday, June 21st, I will be performing at Wawa's Woke America Block Festival for Ensemble of the Arts. Shout out to Avenue of the Arts for giving me the opportunity. I'm super excited. It's going to be a dope performance. And it's free, so come out. We got no reason not to. We shutting down the whole block.
Yeah, make sure you come out, check out Joe Hart's performance, tag him in your stories.
Yes, for sure.
Take some pictures, take some video.
Yes, you got to.
Come out and support for real.
Yeah, I'm bringing out a band. Ooh, I'm gonna announce who's gonna be in my amazing band lineup. But just know, the band is coming.
So make sure you follow Joe Hart on Instagram.
Yes,
Link will be in the description below.
for sure.
Okay, you're bringing a band.
Yeah.
You're doing this big major event.
Yes.
Thrown by Wawa of all places, where we get our Sour Patch Kids, our, I guess you guys say, hoagies.
I don't know. Like, you know what? As long as I've been here, I still haven't.
I refuse.
I just can't. Like, the New Yorker in me just cannot.
I lived here too. I lived here too. Yeah, it's a hero.
I can't.
But that sounds exciting, man. And how did this opportunity come about? What can you share about that?
Well, yeah. So Avenue of the Arts, a program that I've worked with before, definitely done a couple of shows. They reached out to me and gave me the opportunity to perform on the Ensemble of the Arts stage that they'll be doing. And when they mentioned it to me, I instantly was like, what? Of course. This is like right up my alley. I think the fact that not only had they reached out, but they had listened to my music and everyone gave the green light. It wasn't just like, oh, we're kind of sneaking you in here. We're going to toss you on the bill. We got to kill some time. It was generally like, no, we listen. People have reviewed, like we've all talked about this and we all are saying yes. And for someone that kind of started festivals, because, you know, I kept getting the no's, that was one of the biggest things. Was it wasn't just like, all right, do you want me on your lineup because you think I can sell tickets, but do you want me on your lineup because you think I fit and you actually enjoy what you're listening to and you believe in me? And yeah, I couldn't ask for anything more.
Honestly, man, and like I can't get inside the heads of the people who organize this, obviously. But I think it's kind of a testament to the hard work that you've been putting in with your own festivals, making your own music, doing the music videos, like everything by yourself, right?
Yeah, really. I mean, you know, even though I do all the ideas, everything created is definitely by myself. I'm heavy on editing and all that. I do have a wide variety of friends, peers that come in and work with Runaway that like do their part in the needs that I can't fit. But yeah, everything really is run through me. Like I'm on the meetings. You've seen me at shows. I'm sometimes doing tickets, performing, hosting, running the bar, doing videography. Like I'm doing everything. I just feeling what I need to do. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't mean like by yourself. Like no, I mean obviously you run the teams and stuff. But like by yourself, meaning like you kind of take the initiative to get these projects started, to get these events started.
Oh yeah.
Like I mean, you could take credit as a leader of these kind of things, whether it's the music videos, the events, and I don't think any of that stuff goes unnoticed. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah.
So kind of taking those negative feelings you had in the past, like fuck this, no one's gonna put me on. I'm gonna put myself on, and then by turning it into your own thing and by growing your own organization and stuff. People from these other groups see you and they, okay, well, how do we get him on our lineup? Yeah. Would you say that's kind of that would be the truth?
Yeah. Honestly, it came unsurprisingly, but at the perfect time. Like I think, you know, talking about it now and in hindsight, you're like, okay, this makes sense why they would do it, why they would reach out and this and that. But this came out of nowhere. I had no idea that I was even going to be eligible to perform. So to have the opportunity kind of just presented to itself, it was really like, oh, someone is really seeing what I'm doing. Like it is going noticed. It is. Because sometimes you think it is. And sometimes like you know it is, but you have that self-doubt, that imposter syndrome, and you kind of get in your head and you're like, yeah, no one's really rocking with me. Like, I'm not as popular as I think I am. I'm just local. And it's like, nah, maybe you're not though. Maybe you're bigger than what you think. Maybe you are honestly as dope as you think you are.
Yeah, and like I'm a big consumer of like podcasts and commentary and interviews in general. And like a common thing that people say is like you never know who's watching.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes you get caught up in the analytics. Like shit, I only have 20 views on this video or like whatever. But one of those views could be like the most important one of your life.
No, for real.
And you just got to keep. And I don't have to tell you, you've been doing it. You keep building. You keep promoting. You know, you did take some time off, because you gotta rest. But you know, as soon as you needed to, you got right back at it. And people keep track of that kind of stuff, man. And it might feel like it's out of nowhere because of like your own self doubt or like your own concerns or whatever. But you never know who's watching.
No, you're definitely right. Like you take a little break, you give yourself time to rest, and that's kind of like, to go back to your question before about how I don't overwhelm myself. That's really how I do it. Like, I give myself the rest when I need the rest, and when I'm not resting and I need to work, I'm working. Like, I'm not bullshitting, like I'm not messing around, I'm working, and that's how you do it.
Yeah, and I think that rest bit is important too. Now, I mean, admittedly, we put out an episode of this every week, but I think how we try to pull back to really concentrate on what we're doing, like, we stopped doing so many event coverages, and just kind of really focus in on like what's really important to us, like, you know, the podcast and now the recipe, which, sorry. If you don't know, we had a catastrophic hard drive fail recently. So there's a Lost Joe Hart episode somewhere in cyberspace, but we're gonna redo that one for you. But that aspect of rest and giving people time to like miss you, like, did you see the benefit in that in the beginning, or was it just like, I'm just too tired right now?
Oh no, I've always seen the benefit in that. Even when I did my first show in 2019, planning that show when I was 19 years old, I'll never forget, it took me 6 months to plan it. I had promoted it 3 months before the event. And I remember everyone was like, why? Why would you promote? Who promotes an event 3 months before? And I was like, I need everyone to know about this event, so that way if they don't come to this event, they have no excuse. You genuinely have no excuse if you're one of my friends and it's like, it's a $5 event. It's my first show I've ever done. Me and your other friends are on the lineup, and you knew about this 3 months in advance, and I've been talking about it every day at school or with you 6 months in advance. Oh yeah, you have no excuse. Like, it was so. I had done it, and even then, after I did the show went amazing. We sold out. It was one of really the catalysts of me doing events in the first place. I remember the biggest question I got was like, "Hey, so like you're gonna do this again next month?" And I remember like the level of stress and panic on my face, because I was like, it took me 6 months. Like, you don't understand. I was like, I've been in a sweatshop working on this event, trying to figure out how to make this work. And you're asking if I could just pull this out of my ass next month. No, I'm not doing this next month. I was so offended at the question that I'd be like, that I just didn't understand that it was generally people being like, no, like we had such a good time. Right. We'd want to come to it again. But in my mind, it was like, you think I could do this in a month? What? It's like, how dare you? So I've always, even when I was younger, understood like you got to give people a reason to miss you. Because when you kind of do it back to back to back, you could build off the momentum. But kind of like you said, the last event that I did was in November. So from November to May, I haven't done any events. So when I come back in May and I'm doing events every weekend or something like that, it's like, oh, this is making up for lost time. It's literally making up for almost each month that I was gone. Right.
Yeah, one event a weekend. Or
yeah.
Was it one event a week?
Yeah, one event.
The thing was on a Thursday, but
yeah, it was one event a week. And then we kind of moved some things around, and then Rosa and Rhymes is the 2-day event. Right. So that but like if you kind of do the math, it almost kind of makes up for each month that I was really gone. So it's really like, all right. You want to give people time to miss you, even with albums. There's nothing wrong with people dropping albums every year, every like couple of months, or however quickly they feel. But for me, like, I need time to grow. It takes me a little longer to just do that. And with events, I could have an event that come out next month and people wouldn't know that like that's actually an idea that I came up with back in September. It's just now being presented to you next month, which is very different than being like, yo, I thought of something on the train ride. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Like, I just can't do that. Like this, it's just too many things that kind of pieces that I work with that go into it.
So I want to get back into the Wawa thing, but before we do, I just caught something that you did your first event at 16?
19.
19. Oh, I'm sorry. I was about to say, like, you're coming up on 10 years, but you're at 6 years.
No, 16. No, I am at 10 years. I started making music when I was 16. Like, so I'm close. Yeah. I think I am. Actually, no. Was I 15? Yeah. I honestly might have been 15. I think I started producing when I was 15. I didn't start rapping until I was 16. Because, yeah, I dropped my first song or something like that. And it was winter. So I definitely was 15.
Okay.
I'm a spring baby, so yeah. gotta work backwards.
So you've been at this for a while, just in general, whether
Yeah.
it's the making your own beats, making your own, songs, music, running your own events. Like 25 is kind of a major year for you.
Yeah, I wanted to really figure it out. Like when my dad first bought me my music box, like I told him, I was like, if you give me this box, I'm gonna make back this box's money 2 or 3 times. It's not gonna be in an instant, but I'm gonna do it. And I did. Like I dropped like 3-4 albums off of it. I did shows off of it. And this is all coming off like starting off with just a little Focusrite, slow Scarlet solo, right? Like box. So I've kind of always had the ideas and different things like that to kind of go further,
Now back to this Wawa event. You mentioned you're going to be having a live band with you.
Yes.
You're going to announce that soon, I'm assuming, on Instagram.
Yes, I will be announcing the members of my band. Excited.
So instruments, all of that good stuff.
You will see. It's,
Backup vocals, anything. Can you give us anything?
I can tell you this. We are gonna have instrument, backup vocals, and a musical director. That's it.
So you don't have to get into too much more detail, but what it sounds like to me is that you're really trying to put forth the effort to make this a memorable show.
Oh, for sure.
Not to say that you haven't done it for other shows, but being that this is kind of like a big deal,
Yeah, I want this to really be something that people go back and be like, oh wow, like I caught a one-of-one Joe Hart show. Like you have to be here to catch this. So I'm gonna make this something that's different than any other Joe Hart show, one of a kind moment. And because you never know, I want every performance to be like it was my last performance. Because you never know what's gonna happen.
Pyrotechnics?
Not yet. Soon come. I need a flamethrower for sure next show.
Magician? You're not giving me anything. But no, man, that's really amazing. And when is that show again?
June 21st. Saturday, June 21st from 12 to 6 p.m.
So let's move on to what else is new for Joe Hart.
Yeah.
Seems like you have some sort of flavored drink that you're putting out.
A flavored drink?
Yeah, sugar honey iced tea.
Yes. That good. No, yeah, sugar honey iced tea. Dropped it on my birthday. Kind of like a celebration. Nice little house club banger. Something different for me.
Yeah.
I'm definitely thinking that people are enjoying it. Something you can move and you can enjoy during this beautiful weather.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that. I told you before we started recording that I listened to it a couple of times this morning and tried to get in the headspace to do this interview.
Yeah.
And at first it kind of took me back a little bit because I think correct me if I'm wrong, but the last major song you put out was Sometimes I Cry.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of expecting that kind of vibe, with the the previous album that you put out.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like, oh, okay, this is kind of almost like I can't almost like a house beat type deal.
Yeah, it's like a house club with a little bit of Afrobeat, Brazilian flair. It's it's its own little bop, its own vibe, but it was something completely different. How I work on songs is just, I don't even know. It's really just like, imagine the most complex Rubik's Cube and then someone just smashing it. And that's kind of how my brain works. And then I'm just like picking up the little pieces to put them back together. So that song was made a little while ago, and I kind of was just testing around, like, I had done a feature for Eddie Gemini, and he had a house song. And that was the first time I had ever done a verse for a house song. And I was re-listening back to that a while ago, and I was like, I feel like I could do it again, but it gotta be my song. Like, I gotta do the hook, I gotta do the verse, I gotta do it. And so I went back, heard the beat, started writing to it. I was like, talk so hot, but she looks so sweet. What? And I just started like doing the backgrounds to it because I wanted it to feel like your friend was hyping you up in the club. Like, talk to him, hey, like, so it's a nice little vibe, a nice little groove for that reason.
Yeah, and it's done, like we said before, it's definitely like a different direction. It's nice,
yeah.
It's fresh, it's very summery.
Yeah.
It almost, like, I'm not trying to put like anything in your head or speak for you, but it almost kind of gave me like when Drake tried that with the Honestly Nevermind drop.
I could kind of see what you're talking about, because like, I don't know if I drop a whole album of house songs. Not against it. I don't know if I would just completely switch like that. But no, definitely something similar, like where it's something completely different than what you would expect. Like something that you wouldn't even know that the artist had in their vault. It's like, yeah. Because that is really what my latest releases have kind of been, just being like something different. So I'll tell you now, like the next songs I'm going to drop are probably just going to be completely different than anything I've dropped before.
Okay. So we got something to look forward to.
Oh yeah, I'm always, let me tell you right now, to any fans, any listeners, any potential new fans, I'm always working on new music. I'm always ready to drop new music. I just like to make sure that the quality matches the intent. But there's always new music that's going to be coming out. Once these shows are done, I'll be back dropping new music, doing music videos, performances, different things like that. And not just event performances, but like solo Johar performances. Because I know a lot of like people like going to that and they feel like they're missing out on that. So yeah, we're not done. I have not retired or forgotten. Just busy.
And if you're interested in the song, link in his bio.
Yes.
I have a question. I know a lot of people, if they have fan of some type of music of one artist, like at least one or two albums in a one style, and people became fans and they not accept anything new. I want to ask you, like an artist, why it's important to try different type of music in your career? Why is important, and why is can be not a difficult, but kind of challenging?
No, it's super important to me because I think because I started off doing it so young, it's so much easier to get stale with it because it's like it's not like I've tried everything or I've like unlocked every flow or said every verse. But you can imagine like rapping from 16 to 25, there's a lot of like just simple rhymes that like I'll hear myself and be like, how many times have I said that? And I'll have to look up in my notes and be like, all right, if I'm saying this every other song or I got to change it up. I got to switch the style. Like if I'm working with a producer too much, even if I love the producer, I have to I'll tell myself like, all right, yo, bro, you can still send me beats, different things like that, but I'm going to work with other people too, because I don't just want to become hooked on just your sound or so used to working with you that it's impossible for me to work with anyone else. So for me, experimenting is like, it's how I could honestly stay in the game. I feel like if I was doing something, even if it was very successful, I wouldn't be able to do it like for 10 years or 9 years or something like that. That's like even albums, each album, I've been adding like different styles of different things to each album just to see like, do I like doing this? Do I like doing this? And don't get me wrong, there are some albums have been more successful than others, and people have asked me like, why don't you go back to that album and recreate exactly what you did? And I was like, well, because that's that album. Like it's its own separate thing. I think that's sometimes why I even have trouble like when I'm working on projects doing sequels to albums, because to me each project is so different. Like I can't necessarily imagine going into the studio and recreating a project again. And sometimes that could translate into events too. Like, you know, I have Roses and Rhymes like Reloaded, which is like the part 2 of it from last year. But originally I was very much like, that's going to be a one-off, because I didn't think that anyone would kind of want to come to it again in a year. I was like, nah, like it's better just, you know, you had to be there, and if you weren't there, you missed it. Like we could do it again, but we could call it like, let's call it something new. But I've come to that conclusion, like, all right, you could do a sequel and not make it corny. Like sequels could be fun. Like,
So it's like kind of experience trying to different stuff, and also like not hold you like in bored with the music.
yeah,
So it's like, oh, there's this one, and when you bored with one thing, you go to another.
exactly. And I think like when I do it like that, it's easier for me to then come back. So like if all of last year and even if all of last year I only did like Roses and Rhymes and just repeated it throughout the whole year, like I didn't do the rock show, I didn't do like the poetry show, anything like that, I would have stopped. Like I would have completely been done after the 3rd or 4th time, because I just would have been like, all right, but how many Roses and Rhymes, like how much rhyming and roses are we really doing here right now? Like because I just would be bored. And I think when I'm bored, then like I could kind of convince myself and other customers out of it, where it's like, I don't really want to do this. Yeah, I don't really want to do this. Just go home.
And a question, you said like you want to like try different stuff. Do you have some ideas what kind of music do you want to link to, like in the next, for example, song, and you're just like, oh, I want to like hard rock, or I want some totally reggae, just instrumental, like some kind of stuff like this. Like, do you have the ideas like, oh, I want to utilize this type of music for my next song?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like it's too hard to pick specific genres, because I really do listen to everything. But I'd say like it's almost a matter of what gets released, because that's like a better way, I guess, to answer your question. Because like I've probably recorded to every genre, but only put out a handful. So there's more stuff to be released.
So let's talk about other endeavors that you're doing, man. What's this that I hear about a rose garden?
Yes, so Rose Garden PHL is our new venture that we're doing, where we just launched our first event at our new venue. It's a rooftop private location, and Bloom House. Oof, it was absolutely amazing. It was just, honestly, if you want to know what Bloom House was like, close your eyes and imagine like Kid and Play house party, but with women DJs. And that's just that's just the best way to describe it. And it was honestly a great time. Everyone was dancing. Everyone got a chance to interact, talk. There was no beef, no fights, anything like that. And yeah, it was just great. We had music from electronic, house, hip hop, R&B, soul, 90s, early 2000s. Like you may hear the Manhattans blended in on the house song, mixed in with like Sexy Red. It was beautiful, and I loved it.
And the Rose Garden, like you said, private location.
Yes.
If you're interested in seeing what that is, sign up for one of his events.
Yeah, sign up. DM the venue if you're interested in doing a show there or even performing or anything like that. But yeah, more will be seen.
It's not a bad view from what I remember.
It is not a bad view. A beautiful view of Philly. It's one of a kind.
Can't get too specific. We don't want to give up the location.
Exactly.
But that's awesome, man, that you're kind of just continuing like the situation there, and like, if you know, you know, and if you don't, find out, right?
Exactly.
Like, we're not trying to keep things secret here, but
Some good secrets,
you can't give them everything. They have to earn some of that, right?
Exactly.
I mean, what else is in the works, man?
Right now, I've been working on a new album. I don't want to say like when it'll come out, but I definitely do want to say that it's an ode to hip hop, R&B, but specifically 90s and early 2000s hip hop art, like the shit that like was played around me, I grew up on, and it's kind of really like my contribution back to it. So, again, it's another one of those things where I don't want to say too much, but it's really gonna be something beautiful, and I can't wait to share it with people when it's done.
Absolutely, man. And I mean, what else have we got in the works? Like, I know you're pretty involved with like both communities you live in part of New York, Harlem, and also Philadelphia.
Yeah. So, Runaway Roses, one of the things that we will be launching sometime soon is Petals, positive experiences through art, life, and sharing. Whew. It's a lot to remember.
You got it on the first try.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, Petals is a program where we basically be working with the community, whether that be clothing drives, food drives, giving away like free haircuts to kids, school supplies, whatever it may be. But this will be our program where we specifically do events and opportunities more so gathered to the community that may have nothing to do with music. It may have only a little bit to do with music, but regardless, we're still like giving back, and we're working with other creatives to make sure that they're doing their job. Because if you're shooting a music video, taking photos, skateboarding, graffitiing, doing art, throwing a show, you could pick up some trash. You could give out some food. You could give away some of your old clothes and stop selling them on Depop. And it's like, right. It just takes a second to help. And and specifically I'm really excited to be sharing it when the time comes.
Sounds like kind of a full circle moment thing, because I remember actually the first interview we did with you over at now Rose Garden, right?
Yeah. And
you talked about growing up in Harlem and like how the Rough Riders came through.
Yeah.
And they were handing out T-shirts and hats and stuff. And, that was just like a way of giving back. And now here you are trying to organize that for the communities that you're a part of.
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
No, for sure. I definitely think like that's, as I've gotten older and, kind of going back to like, I guess what 25 really was to me there was an understanding of what my role is in this world, like while I'm here. And it's just to help people. Like I got to help as many people as I can. And I realized that I can only do it my way. I can incorporate other people into it and learn and make improvements and changes, but I got to do it my way. Like I got to do it my way, or else it just doesn't feel right.
Is there anything else you want to touch on?
No.
That you want to like just leave the audience with?
Damn, I'm trying to think of something like motivational, and I got shit. And I'm like,
I mean, you sharing your story is motivation enough, man. Like
Thank you.
You're all over the place in all the best possible ways.
Thank you.
And just like I said earlier, like the people that noticed you for this event coming up, they noticed you because of the work that you've been putting in. Like
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's not for nothing, man. And people should take heed of that. Like whatever your dream is, whether you're trying to be like Johar and do like events, trying to be a performer, painting, poetry, whatever, man, like just consistently doing the work. And consistent doesn't mean every day putting something out, but just whenever you put out the work, keeping it consistent, keeping the quality consistent, trying new things. Like people are going to notice. And, that's what we hope for ourselves. That's what we hope for like everyone that we interview, that we all continue just kind of putting in the work, even if it seems futile sometimes, right? because it definitely seems that way sometimes. Like I can speak to that. I think Marie and I have like daily conversations of like, when is this shit? Something's got to take off, right?
Something got to give.
Right.
We are struggling. Be like the struggling artist motto.
And sometimes I talk to other people that are like not in what we're doing, whether it's like people who are not artists, people who are not, like who do programs like us. And, they have like a misconception sometimes of artists, like, oh, if they have the time to do the music and do the shows, they must be doing great. Or like,
No.
I think Marie had an example earlier, if you don't mind me saying, like, if the painting costs this much, she must be selling paintings at this much and must be rich. And it's like, no, that's just like, it's just the quality of work.
Something I spend so much time and all my knowledge to make, and when you see the price, it can be like too much. It's like, oh, it's just a painting, but I spend so much time. And some people think, oh, if it costs that much, and you like, if you count it, if you sell one painting a day, and it's just like it's so much money. But if you look on it realistically, selling your art is not easy. And it's never going to be easy. But at the same time, if someone already have piece of your art, it doesn't matter. It can be a download the song, go to the concert, buy the painting, have a sticker, I don't know, like anything. Seeing your play in the theater. If they once see it and they like it, they want to come back. They want it more. Because they already know the quality, they already know what they like, the idea. They see the artist, and they understand like, well, I'm gonna trust him or her. The same thing I have with the tattoos. People come to me, they trust me once, they see the result, and they come back. One thing I want to ask, and maybe you have the answer because I searched for the answer, and it's all like. It's really complicated, but what moves you to do stuff and not to stop? What is your like I understand like a different situation and everything, but sometimes it can be really hard. And when you see the people like just doing and doing and doing, you have a question like what's moved them to do this consistently all day after day, more and more and more. What is your this how to go like this toys when you need to like twist it and they just like start to moving, like what is this twist for you?
I think it's two things. One is every time I feel like I'm about to quit or like I'm like I need a break or I'm done or this and that, something always happens where I don't get a break, and not necessarily in a bad way, but it's just like. There's been times that I was talking to someone about an event I had thrown, and I was like, yeah, like it was cool, whatever. And he was like, oh man, I forgot to tell you, like I met the love of my life at your event. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, like I was at your event, and like I ended up meeting this girl. We ended up dating, and like we've been like dating for about like 2 or 3 years. And I was like, oh my god, I don't even remember this. I was like, this is a blur to me. And you met the love of your life at my event? I was like, okay. So you only need about like 1 or 2 of those every year or two. Just that's those one things that's like, okay.
It's like a little universe sign that you don't need to continue.
I see why I do this. Yeah. So like, even so, for instance, that moment could have been the Wawa moment. Like where it's like, all right, because truth be told, I really was not planning on doing anything that entire month. But when I got the opportunity, I was like, all right, I can open up June. I can open up June for that. So it's moments like that. And the second thing I think is just waking up. Like every day, I don't know, maybe my brain is like just strange. Every day that like I'm here, I'm like, I gotta do something. Like I'm still here. And I feel like it's like a middle finger to all the haters every time I wake up and kind of like make myself breakfast and have a good day. Cause it's like I'm still here, like tearing shit up.
I feel feels like you person of the opportunity. So if I open my eyes, it's a like in the morning, it's opportunity to live this day. Or like
Yeah.
if there is someone comes to me and say like, hey, there is a concert. Do you want to be a part of it? Oh, it's opportunity to be a part of the concert.
And it's easier said than done, because there's plenty of times that like you'll do something, because like on the flip side, when you have like let's say a show goes bad and I'm in the red, we lose ticket sales, people don't show up, whatever. I also get the same feeling. Like, oh, that event went bad. Like, they think I can't do this. No. I gotta go back twice as hard the next show. So it just all depends on like how you use it. So like when I'm upset or I'm sad or anything like that, I just turn into different projects. Sometimes it's a song. Sometimes the frustration turns into a festival. Sometimes like it's clothing, it's a sticker, it's a performance. But it's about like what you're gonna do with it. Like, okay, you're upset because one of your peers in your field is doing something similar to your art, and maybe you feel like they're copying you or they haven't acknowledged you. It's like, are you gonna talk about it forever? Are you gonna stop making art? Are you gonna keep making art? Are you gonna partner with? Like, there's so many different options, but you gotta do something, right? Or you could do nothing, which is something. Because people do forget that. Doing nothing is something.
How my mom once say, because she's like one of the like heads of the company, whatever. She said the phrase is like, you can say that worker doesn't work. It's really complicated. Do nothing for 8 hours a day.
Seriously though.
Something, but you're doing.
You have to do, like, even if you're just walking around in a circle, it's like that. Maybe that's the job, or the job is just standing up and looking at people or just opening a door, but you're doing something. Like, and if you're doing nothing, I tell people, I was like, that sounds even crazier when you say that out loud. When you're like, oh, so you complicitly was watching them do something that they shouldn't have been doing, and instead of you saying something or standing up for yourself, you just did nothing. Because that is still something. And it's like, all right, because that sometimes I feel like that could be worse. Because it's like, okay, so then for 8 hours you just did nothing while they did something? That's crazier than doing something in the first place. So it really just depends on how you look at it. And like I tell people, it just depends on how you take it. Like different things you could, when people told me know about the festivals or know about my first venue when I was 19, I saved up a whole bunch of money and got my best friend got my mentor to buy a venue for me, or like rent a venue for me. A lot of other people that I know, artists that have been put in the same situation, they've been like, yeah, they told me they want to book it to me. And I'll be like, okay, so what happened? Like, so I just didn't do the show. Like, so you just didn't go to a different venue, you didn't reach out to anyone else, you didn't try again, you didn't work with a different engineer or a different producer, find a different video director, you just quit. And that's always been the strangest thing to me. Like, I gotta finish something. Even if I couldn't finish a level in a game, it would get to me in my sleep. Like it would be haunting me. I'd be like, and it was always so funny as a kid. When I couldn't finish levels as a kid, I would give it to my dad. Because I'd be like, okay, one of us has to be able to get past this. And he was the same way. I remember one time, I never forget, it was like some Super Mario game that I had on my Game Boy. And it was my Game Boy Color Advanced. Ooh. And I remember I got stuck on a level. And I remember giving it to him at like 9 p.m. Waking up sometime at 12 a.m. and hearing like the game going off and him like still not being able to get it. Waking up then like 9 a.m. in the morning. And somehow he got past the level. And he didn't know. And it's just like stuff like that. Like that's the type of person I am. Like, I don't just quit or just stop. Like I have to do it. Even if it's going to kill me, I will do it.
Well, Johar, we appreciate this talk, man. We appreciate you coming back on the platform, sharing your story, keeping people informed on what you're doing. Sugar Honey Iced Tea
Yes.
out now,
Yeah, go stream it, listen to it, dance to it, groove to it, all of that.
June 21st.
June 21st, yes, come and see me. 12 to 6 p.m., the Ensemble Art Stage. I'll be killing it.
Awesome, man. Well, that being said, thank you again. And picture time.
Picture time.
Sweet.
Harlem is such an amazing place, and it's very underrated. As a child, I was influenced by a lot, and there was just a lot around me that I was lucky to just be a part of. For instance, I never forget that I was going out with my mom one time. I think I was about 8 or 9, and we were walking down 125th Street in the middle of like the shopping center. And I never forget seeing DMX and the Rough Riders ride down the street and just throw out bandanas and t-shirts and really just give back. Like, whatever you may say about artists, I think a lot of artists don't come from an easy life and have a great upbringing. But seeing those moments that these people that could be otherwise looked at as criminals, or like what people like to say, like goons or felons, whatever you want to say, were able to just ride through the block and just give back to the community, talk, sit down, take pictures with people. Those small moments are the things that really make a difference in someone's life. And I think that moment in particular is another one that really stood out to me.
Made a big bag off a loud pad.